Now, the information about the situation in the ATO zone presented by Colonel Andriy Lysenko, Ministry of Defense of Ukraine spokesperson on ATO-related issues. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Today, Ukraine marks the Day of Air Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. This holiday is not only for military pilots, but also for all those who provide security of our aviation on land. Operators of anti-aircraft complexes, radio, technical, and special forces that are part of Air Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. And we bow our heads in memory of fallen soldiers of the sky, and we greet the military, both who serve now and the veterans. Now, the information about the sectors in the ATO zone. The Lugansk sector yesterday was started by enemy shelling with the use of grenade launchers in the region of Popasna. Here, the militants until 6 a.m. delivered 2 armored provocations and shelled with the use of small arms ATO position in Nova-Alexandrovka and Novozvanivka. After this, the militant groups in this region were not active. In Bakhmut Road, after 6 p.m., the militants delivered 1 shelling of our positions near Krymska and 1 shelling in Prichepilivka. And at the same time, during 20 minutes, the militants delivered shelling from the side of Zhelobok using grenade launchers and mortars. And the enemy on the whole launched 20 mines at our positions. And once again, the enemy violated ceasefire in Zhovte after sunset, and the militants used small arms. On the whole, during the last 24 hours in the Lugansk sector, 6 enemy shellings were recorded. The Donetsk sector, the militants increased the activity near Avdiivka. They delivered fire 24 hours, and on the whole, the enemy delivered 12 shellings, and that is 2/3 of instances of ceasefire violations by the enemy in the Donetsk sector. The peculiarity of the military actions carried out by the militants is that they used heavy weapons, 82mm mortars exclusively after sunset, and after 10 p.m. until midnight they launched 20 mines at Ukrainian positions. And once the enemy used mortars in Opatna and Vasilievka Druga, launching at twilight several mines at each of these 2 positions. Also, the enemy opened fire with the use of small arms. In Svetlodarsk Balch, 2 shellings were recorded. Both lasted about 30 minutes. They were carried out with the use of grenade launchers and small arms, and it happened at about 4 a.m. and then late in the evening. And in the Mariupol sector, there were 7 enemy shellings. 5 were in the far south, in Vodene and Shirokine. And the enemy also delivered fire in Starognativka and to the south in Novoselievka Druga. In each shelling, heavy weapons was not used by the enemy. And the shellings lasted from 15 minutes up to 1 hour. And the longest shelling happened in the south of the area, and in Mariinsky region it was calm. So during the last 24 hours, in the result of the military actions, no Ukrainian serviceman was killed and 3 servicemen were wounded. SBU officers detained in Slovyansk a former militant. It was identified that he joined Russian occupation forces in April 2014. And later, he got disillusioned in the ideas of Russian world and left illegal armed group. And we should say that this man did not participate in SBU program that is called They Wait for You Back Home. That is why he will face a long sentence in prison. In Kurakhov and Pokrovsk and Donetsk Oblast, police officers detained people who illegally transported weapons and ammunition. On the whole, they confiscated RPG-22 grenade launcher, 2 grenades RGD-5, grenade F1 with detonator, and a large number of machine gun cartridges. And all these things the perpetrators tried to bring from the ATO zone to peaceful Ukraine. Pilots of air brigades of armed forces of Ukraine have joined training. The aim of the event to verify forces and means of air defense of Ukraine, and also practical training of crews of fighter jets in search and accompanying of air targets. Also, the role of perpetrators will be played by fighter jets, bombers, and transport planes, and they will create radio obstacles, will try to destroy anti-aircraft defense means, and also distract by their presence in the sky. To mark the Day of Air Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the President of Ukraine awarded 15 servicemen with orders and medals. Danila Galitsky order was provided to Sergei Batsiyan. He repeatedly completed flights in the framework of the crew of helicopter Mi-8, and 3 times he served as a senior commander of group to search debris of enemy air drones. And in the course of Kramatorsk airport shelling on the 10th of February 2015, that was shelled with the Smerch multiple launch rocket system. The colonel showed courage, and a medal for military service to Ukraine was provided to Roman Kost, and during November 2015, February 2016, he revealed 127 air drones of Russian terroristic forces, and part of these drones were destroyed, and Major Kost prevented losses among military personnel of his detachment. There are no questions. Thank you and goodbye.